challenge. 10 years after devolution, until today, they were still having challenges of unbundling. When it comes to health, right now, I'm already engaging national government. An example is Port Health. I am of the belief that Port Health is public health. Public health, as per the Constitution, is actually meant to be fully devolved. We have the facilities in the event that someone comes in and falls very, very sick in that ship. There's no national government facility right now here. Why should that function be done with national? In fact, the Constitution is very clear that the role of national government is just in terms of policy and setting up those particular guidelines when it comes to public health, nothing else. So do I believe that it was right to devolve health functions? Yes, it was. But equally, maybe what should have been done is there should have been a health workers commission, like we're having a teachers service commission, and we're also having other commissions that are there. In that way, we would have been able to totally streamline a number of things that are going to be now cross-cutting all over. There is a big challenge. It is still there. I am of the personal opinion, and I want to give you one small example as to why devolution has worked. Prior to devolution, all of you know the infamous KEMSA. Prior to devolution, what would happen is KEMSA's business strategy was more of a push. That means you got a good deal to buy TB medicine, or you got a good deal to buy malaria medicine. It never mattered about anything else. You just had to simply send those goods to Kwale, to Mombasa, to Bungoma, and what ended up happening is some of those medicines actually ended up expiring. When devolution came in, it was now more of a pool concept that all these counties would have to put a demand. So there ended up being more efficiency on that. We might have had a problem in challenges of how to handle the doctors and everything else, but this challenge boils to nothing else but the fact that we are yet to unbundle the finances. And I'm hoping and I pray that with the third generation of devolution, and probably now that the CRA is here and they're part and parcel of the discussion on unbundling of finances, I believe that we'll be able to come up with something that is going to be secure and firm on this. Thank you very much.
With that, you've got a question. Okay, there is a lady, if you can allow your excellency. Just one question, because now, okay. Let's give Christine, and then your excellency, with your permission. It's raining, but I requested you. Okay, Christine, and then the first, and then we will give Christine. Okay, thank you.
Yes, thanks, Bwana Governor, for the insightful presentation. But there's something, my name is Clement Agwingi. I'm wondering if in your finance bill, you do follow guideline. And there are certain things that are becoming a bit crazy. Like somewhere I come from, there is something that is passing through public participation through finance bill. That if you have between 1 to 50 chicken per year, you will be paying around 2,500. If you have any idle land that is commercial, you will be paying around 20,000, and a number of things. So I don't know whether the county government is against entrepreneurship or is supporting it. What is the input of the county government in somebody rearing chicken? And a number of things that I think look crazy, because I think Kenyans are overtaxed. So if you go again that direction, I think we are missing the point. And I think in your meetings of Council of Governors, there are certain things that at least you need to brainstorm on. Thank you.
Good morning. Thank you for making it this morning and sharing with us your thoughts. My question is on balancing between the national government tax collection strategy and the county government tax collection as well. How do you ensure that there's a balance so that taxpayers do not feel that they are fatigued from a tax payment perspective, and ensure consistency that what you're doing is trying to drive revenues, from the businesses. The businesses are able to grow so as to generate revenues for both the county government and the national government, while at the same time boost their morale, the taxpayers' morale, and ensure that they do not get to a point of fatigue. Thank you.
One more question. Let me just add one small question, please. Can you hear me?
I can't hear you. Why don't you just come a bit closer? Maybe the person in charge of the sound can increase the volume?
Thank you, Mheshimiwa. I wanted to ask, it was read here that the last county could not meet the target of what they wanted to use,
I think no one can hear you. Sorry. Why don't you just come a bit closer? Yeah, you were saying? Sorry about that.
Okay, it's fine. I wanted to know, what are the measures, or what are you going to do different to be able to get the revenue that you want to be able to achieve your goals compared to what was there last year? They actually said like 58%. That is what you garnered. So I want to know what measures or what are you going to do different to be able to increase your revenue, or what are your targets for this term? Thank you.
All right, I've been asked 1, 2, 3, 4 questions. One, Clement asked me, I don't know which county Clement is from. He never mentioned, he just said, he brought up 2 issues and he was a bit surprised. I personally believe it's good to discuss, to talk. Maybe you need to take it up with the CEC Finance of the area you're from, also the governor as well. But I'm sure the chair will also advise me and I can be able to have a word with that particular governor on your concerns. But they said, I didn't understand. He said, if you rear 1 to 50 chickens, you have to pay this amount of money. Is that what you said? I don't know what was on what category that levy is. But there's another one that you said, if you have idle land. Actually, the issue of idle land will not be new to that county. This is something that is practiced in other jurisdictions of the world. What happens is, in the event that you have very, very prime land, and ideally that land would have added value to the county, to the country in general, if that land had been developed. And you decide that, no, I just want to sit idle on this land. In other jurisdictions of the world, in fact, there was actually a proposal, even in national government, when I was in parliament, on that as well. That if you have idle land and you decide that you just want to sit on idle land because you want to do nothing else except, now imagine, I just want to give you a scenario. Imagine someone inherits this huge piece of land in this whole area. And this is where it is prime for tourism. And then we all decide that let it stay so that I can just be able to, do nothing else because I already have other properties. You are denying the rest of the country growth. So I don't know on what basis that they have used that, but that would have been my argument. We don't have it here, but that would have been my argument. The other issue is how to ensure that there's no fatigue from the taxpayers. Like I said, on our part, one, we're focused on reducing levies on MMEs and SMEs by doing many things. One, we have zoned Mombasa. Two, we have consolidated taxes for MMEs and SMEs. That means you don't have to pay for fire and health separately. We're just putting it all in one. We have zoned Mombasa. We have reduced the level of paying for the MMEs and SMEs. So there are some which initially would have been told to pay 12,000 in this new bill because of the virtue of consolidating and also of where they're zoned. They're going to pay as low as 6. There are some who would have been paying 12. They're going to pay now up to 9. But equally, I think the biggest problem that is there, and this will go hand in hand with the last question that I was asked, in how to ensure that we don't have a situation where we don't meet targets. To ensure that we don't have fatigue, on our part, I've already written to the Commission for Revenue Allocation with a copy of my finance bill and told them, please let us have your input as well. With that, then we will now be able to see that, you know what, this is not right here, this is not right here. And I think there's already a report from the Commission for Revenue Allocation that has indicated Mombasa was below par in collecting on-source revenue. So we are asking, where do you think we can be able to improve ourselves? And then also, it is wiser to cast a net wider and not necessarily say that you want to hurt a certain species of fish. You cast it wider, and in the process of casting it wider, you'll be able to collect way more without necessarily saying that you're hurting certain levels of businesses. And in that instance, you make levies to be thinly spread so that someone really does not feel. Now, I want to tell you a secret. It's an open secret. When people see where their money is going, people don't mind paying. When people see where their money is going, people don't mind paying. Tatizo ni pale pesa inakusanywa na ijulikani pahali inaenda, that becomes a problem. And I think everyone needs to start with, when you want to tell people you're taxing them, tell people what you intend to do with their money. So that the next finance bill that is there, you tell them, you remember I told you I will do this, I actually surpassed that I did this and this and this. So now please, unaonaje kidogo, nitakupunguzia hapa lakini uongeze hapa. That makes a bit more sense. And I'll give you an example. Today, if I reduce the levies on PSVs, I know that those PSVs, I know for a fact they will not reduce the amount of money they will charge the customer. I know they will not. But I'll tell you what they will do. They will now go and fuel more. They will spend that extra money on buying bread. The economy will grow automatically. Lastly, I was asked on fatigue, and I think also ensuring that we don't conflict between national and county governments. Things are very, very straight and straightforward. And that is the reason why we have written to the Commission for Revenue Allocation, and they're going to also be giving us their input on the same. But I believe, eventually, I believe no country has ever grown by overtaxing its citizens. There is no country in this world that has ever grown by overtaxing its citizen. But also, no country in this world will grow when we have low compliance rates. So it is better you make it thin, make people feel proud. It's not easy. It's very difficult to make people feel proud to be taxpayers. But I think where we are right now, if we increase the compliance, make it a bit affordable for people to be able to pay, I don't think it'll be much of a problem. So asanteni sana. I hope next time I'll be called to do more of the closing so I can spend more time. It's not every day that I get smart minds to ask me all these questions. So thank you very much and be blessed. Asanteni sana.
We were supposed to take a group photo outside, but unfortunately it's raining, and therefore allow me humbly request that a few of you represent you. We'll take a group photo here, but let me request the members of Public Finance and Tax Committee to come forward so that we can represent you in the group photo. We had wanted to take it outside and do a tea break, but unfortunately it's not possible. So PFT,